Oh yeah, I done hijacked Kofi's platform, baby. What it is, what it do. I ain't sharing a link with nobody either. I hijacked it. This is all me. I just want to say ETM Hotel, Brittany Sean, welcome in peace. My name is Sean. I decided to pop up on y'all one time, you know, to let Kofi know that I can do this. So I hijacked this channel and I hijacked all his stuff just so I can go live on Kofi Potside TV because Kofi act like I don't want to go live from his channel. So if y'all see Kofi in the streets, let Kofi know that I'm on his channel. You know what I'm saying? And like the show, share the show. You know, tell a friend, tell a friend that Sean got Kofi Potside channel. Straight like that. So I see we got some people in the chat, right? I see y'all in the chat. Peace, peace, peace. How y'all doing this evening? Y'all doing well? That's what's up. That's what's up. So before I get this thing cracking, man, have y'all told Kofi that I didn't hijack this channel yet? If not, it's okay. Cause he ain't got to know.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Go, man. I done hijacked the show, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Crispus Attucks, born 1723, possibly died around 1770, was a man of Wampanoag and African descent. He was the first to fall at the Boston Massacre on March 5th, 1770. Attucks was born in Framingham, west of Boston, and was possibly related to Narragansett Indians, John Attuck, who was hanged during King Philip's War in 1776. While Boston era abolitionists established a Crispus Attucks Day during the 1850s after the Civil War, African descent people across Greater Boston campaigned for this memorial, which commemorates Attucks as well as those who died with him during the massacre. Little is known about the early years of Atux. He was born a slave around the colony of Massachusetts. His father, Prince Younger, was an African, and his mother was Nancy Atux, who was an Indian and possibly a descendant of John Atux, a member of the Natick Indian tribe. John Atux was executed for treason in 1767 during the King Philip's War. I want y'all to remember that during the war. So we got two different accounts. They both saying that John Atux was a member of a Natick Indian tribe. They didn't say that he was an Indian. They said he was a member of a Natick Indian tribe. So two separate accounts. Now I'm gonna be bouncing off two separate accounts. So stick with me. If I kind of lose you, I bring you back. The word Atuk in the native language means deer. Yeah, Zane, I done hijacked the channel, and I don't care if Kofi know. How about that? In 1750, young Atux, a slave of William Brown of Framingham, was a successful horse and cattle trader who did business with a white man. He used the money he made to try to buy his freedom from his owner, William Brown, who refused his offer. Atux ran away. He was never caught, and nothing was known of him for nearly 20 years before he resurfaced again. Historians guess that he escaped to Nantucket, Massachusetts, and sailed as a harpooner on a whaling ship. Sounded to me like he pulled a Jesus move. During those years, the American colonists resented having to buy almost everything from England and were unhappy about the lack of free trade. The most outspoken protests came from Massachusetts colony. The British king, King George III, sent two regiments into the Boston Harbor in the fall of 1769. Many conflicts with the citizens of Boston resulted, and one drew in Atux, who was living in Boston on March 5th, 1770. Atux was eating dinner when he became aware of a fight between Boston men and British soldiers. He went to Dock Square to investigate. Historians are unsure if Crispus Attucks was looking for trouble that night or if he was just standing up for what he felt was right. But the angry mob of Bostonians verbally provoked the soldiers and started hitting them with snowballs, rocks, and clubs. A witness described the Attucks grabbed the bayonet of a soldier named Hugh Montgomery with one hand and using his other hand, he knocked Montgomery to the ground. The soldier fired two shots, instantly killing Crispus Attucks. All in all, 7 or 8 shots were fired the night of the Boston Massacre, killing 5 people. A town meeting was called to demand the removal of the British, and the soldiers were tried for murder. The soldiers were defended by John Adams, who, of course, would later become the second president of the United States. Y'all remember that famous show? The massacre and the trial were dramatized in the HBO series John Adams. 6 of the soldiers were acquitted, but Montgomery and another soldier, Matthew Kilwer, were found guilty of manslaughter. The Boston Massacre was so important to Bostonians, they memorialized it each year, leading up to the Independence War. Over 10,000 people showed up for the funeral processions for the 5 people killed. Attucks was buried as a hero in the Granary Burial Ground in Boston. Thousands attended the funeral. Attucks shares a grave and a headstone with Christopher Snyder, a 12-year-old who was killed 2 weeks earlier in what could be the first example of vet's politician. Samuel Adams and the Sons of Liberty used their death as a way to drum up attention for their cause. More than 5,000 enslaved and freed African Americans fought for independence from the British, even though slavery continued until it was legally abolished in 1863. A publicly funded monument to the Boston Massacre and Crispus Attucks was erected in 1888. You can find the monument in Boston Common between Tremont and Avery Streets. At the time, the monument wasn't popular. Even the Massachusetts Historical Society opposed it. Abolitionists, however, supported the monument, and in 1858 they declared it Crispus Attucks Day. Today, the memory of Crispus Attucks is honored across the country, including a park in Washington, D.C., many schools and community centers. In 1998, commemorating the 275th anniversary of his birth and honoring African American revolutionaries, the U.S. Mint issued the Black Revolutionary War Patriot Silver Dollar. A surcharge on the coin was used to fund the construction for the memorial, now called the National Liberty Memorial, which will eventually be placed on a national mall. Here go the coin. Black man on the coin. Y'all got this coin? I ain't got one. I'll take one though. On March 25th, 1967, Newark, New Jersey held the Christmas ATUX parade. The Prudential Insurance Company of America funded a film on the tribute. The University of Massachusetts History Club formed the Christmas ATUX Museum, and an online museum that honors the first hero of the American Revolution. Here's a newspaper clipping of the 5,000 that marched in Christmas ATUX Day Parade. As you can see, by Lillian Hammond and Newark. Orange's public high school bands participated, and there's some other additional information.
Many patriots gave their lives to win freedom and independence for this great land of ours. And the very first to die for liberty was Crispus Attucks, an American black man. It was in Boston on March 5th, 1770, that Crispus Attucks led a band of colonists against a patrol of redcoats. The Bostonians attacked the British soldiers with sticks, rocks, and snowballs. In this, the first open rebellion against the crown. The redcoats opened fire, and Attucks became the first man to give his life for our country. 4 of his comrades died shortly afterward, and this incident became known in American history as the Boston Massacre, March 5th, 1770. Nearly 200 years later, members of Newark's Crispus Attucks Society journeyed to Boston to pay tribute to this great American, joining the Boston Equal Rights League, headed by Mrs. Melnia Cass, in their annual tribute to Crispus Attucks. The group gathered at a monument erected by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in 1888 to honor Crispus Attucks and the others who fell at the massacre. Mrs. Constance Woodruff, secretary of the Newark organization, Mrs. Cass, and Boston city officials paid tribute to these martyrs of freedom. The Adjutant General of the Massachusetts National Guard represented that state's governor. Next, they visited the old State House, where mementos of the colonial period are on display. And then across the street to the actual site of the massacre, where they placed a wreath commemorating the historic event. Boston officials, Council President William Foley and Councilman Thomas Atkins represented their city at the ceremonies. Later, John Thomas, a Newark teacher and founder of the Crispus Attucks Society, praised those who died for liberty at this historic site. Crispus Attucks and his comrades were buried in a common grave at the Granary Burying Ground with other colonial heroes. The delegation gathered with bowed heads at the martyrs' grave site to join in a prayer offered during a memorial ceremony conducted by Captain Roscoe Jennings of the New Jersey National Guard. The historic pilgrimage to Boston ended on this reverent note. It was a day to be remembered by all, and it helped to revere the memory of a great American who played a significant role in the birth of this nation. As with many of America's heroes, an annual parade is held in the city of Newark to honor Crispus Attucks. People fill the reviewing stands for the opening ceremonies, conducted by Connie Woodruff on a windy day in March, to watch thousands of Americans of all backgrounds participate in this tribute to the black hero of the Boston Massacre. It was through the efforts of the Crispus Attucks Society that the Newark Municipal Council declared March 5th Crispus Attucks Day and became the country's first city to designate this an official school holiday. Father Stobe of Queen of Angels Church offered the invocation. Captain Jennings gave the welcome address. Mayor Hugh Adelizio of Newark extended the city's greetings. Thomas, founder and president of the society, spoke of the need to know and recognize the contributions made toward the development of our country by all Americans, black and white alike. He said we must rededicate ourselves to making the principle that all men are created equal a reality. Speeches honoring Crispus Attucks were heard prior to the introduction of the main speaker, William Booth, of the New York City Human Rights Commission. He said Americans today must continue to work for the ideals of freedom and democracy. Bands had their final practice as crowds gathered at Lincoln Park, the starting point of the parade. They waited anxiously for the police escorts to mount their motorcycles, signaling the beginning of the parade. These youngsters arrived early to get front row seats. Finally, the time arrived and the 3-hour parade was on its way.
All right. So some other notable things about the First MarTYr. Of course, there's a lot of books that have been written about them, and also another commemoration right here is you see the site of the Boston Massacre on March 5th, 1770. And again, another figure of the commemoration is actually on the stones. Now, there's a poem, so you got to bear with me right here. The Crispus Attucks poem by John Boyle O'Reilly. He says, "Where shall we seek for a hero, and where shall we find a story? Our laurels are wreath for conquest, our songs for completed glory. But we honor a shrine unfinished, a column uncapped with pride. If we sing the deed that was sown like a seed when Crispus Attucks died, shall we take for a sign this Negro slave with unfamiliar name, with his poor companions nameless too, till their lives leap forth in flame? Yeah, sorrowly, the verdict is not for us to render or deny. We can only interpret the symbol. God chose these men to die as teachers and types, that to humble lives may chief award be made, that from lower ones and rejected stones the temple's base is laid. When the bullets leaped from the British guns, no chance decreed their aim. Men see what the royal hireling saw, a multitude in a flame. But beyond the flame, a mystery five dying men in the street, while the streams of severed races in the well of a nation meet. O blood of the people, changeless tide, through centuries, creed, and race, still one has the sweet salt sea is one, though tempered by the sun and place. The same in the ocean currents, and the same in the sheltered seas, forever the fountain of common hopes and kindly sympathies. Indian and Negro, Saxon and Celt, Teuton and Latin and Gaul, mere surface, shadow, and sunshine, while the sounding unfies all. One love, one hope, one duty theirs. No matter the time or kin, there never was separate heartbeat in all the races of men. But an alien is one of class, not race. He has drawn the line for himself. His roots drink like from inhuman soul, from garbers of pomp and pelf. His heart beats not with the common beat. He has changed his life stream's hue. He deems his flesh to be the finer flesh. He boasts that his blood is blue. Patrician, patrons, which are supposed to be patrons, aristocrats, Tory, whatever his age of name, to the people's rights and liberties are traitors ever the same. The natural crowd is a mob to him, the prayer of vulgar rhyme. The freeman's speech is sedation, and the patriot's deed a crime. Wherever the race, the law, the land, whatever the time or throne, the Tory is always a traitor to every class but his own. Thank God for the land where pride is clipped, where arrogance stalks apart, where law and song and loathing of wrong are words of the common heart. Where the masses honor straightforward strength and know when vines are bled, that the bluest blood is putrid blood, that the people's blood is red. An honor to Crispus Attucks, who was the leader and voice of the day, the first to defy and the first to die with Maverick, Carr, and Gray. Call it a riot or revolution, his hand first clenched at the crown. His feet were the first in the perilous place to pull the king's flag down. His breast was the first one to rent a pardon the liberty stream might flow. For our freedom now and forever, his head was the first bid low. Call it a riot or revolution, or a mob or a crowd as you may. Such death has been seed of a nation, such as lives shall be honored for a. They were lawless hens to the lackeys, but martyrs to Paul Revere, and Otis and Hancock and Warren Red Spirit and meaning clear. Ye teachers, answer, what shall be done when just a man stands in the dock, when the caitiff is robbed in ermine, and his sworders kept the lock? When the torture is robbed of clemency, and the guilt is without remorse, when the tiger and the panther are gently, then the Christian slavers curse. When the laws are strapped a menace, and the order to drill a horde, shall the people kneel to be trampled and bare their neck to the sword? I can't read this other part right here. I gotta move my box. Actually, I ain't even gonna read no more, but y'all can go online and read this long poem. It's a little dull, not exciting. However, it's really long, y'all. And it's by John Boyle O'Reilly. Go read it. Now, I'm through making fun of John O'Reilly's poem. Here's some Christmas facts. Before I actually, well, you know what, let's get into the facts and we'll move forward from there. Like I said, I'm hijacking the channel. Kofi got a problem. You know what I'm saying? He can see me in the street. Jader, man, this mug too long, bro. Super long. Nah, bro, I ain't writing no poems. So, all right, so we know that Crispus was born to an Indian mother and an African, an enslaved African, right? Um, those are key points. He was sold to a Deacon William Brown when he was 16 years old. He was 6 feet 2. Crispus escaped slavery on the 30th of September in 1750 when he was about 27 years old. Deacon William Brown published the first notice in the Boston Gazette and Country Journal on Tuesday, October the 2nd, 1750, offering a reward of $10 for his return. A second and third notice dated November the 13th and then November the 20th, 1750, appeared in the Boston Gazette and Country Journal, also offering a detailed description of Attucks and a reward for his return. As a runaway slave, he used the alias Michael Johnson. He worked in the whaler for about 10 years. He worked as a sea merchant for the next 10 years and as a rope maker between sailing. The citizens were angry at the soldiers' occupation of Boston. The altercation were common occurrences leading up to the Boston Massacre. On the night of March 5th, Crispus led a group of sailors who either stood up for what they believed or were just troublemakers. The Boston Massacre was the killing of 5 civilians on the night of March 5th in 1770. Um, Crispus was the first person shot. Some others were shot, were followed by that. Other victims of the massacre were Samuel Gray, Samuel Maverick, James Caldwell, Patrick Carr. John Adams led the prosecution team. He also became, like I said in the presentation, the second president of the United States. The jury acquitted all 6 of the soldiers in the charges. We know that they found him not guilty of murder, but guilty of manslaughter. British soldiers retreated to Castle Williams. Samuel Adams and the Sons of Liberty used inventors' propaganda to gain the minds of citizenry. Abolitionists in 1858 declared Christmas Atex Day. Slavery was abolished in 1863 when Lincoln so-called, you know, issued the Emancipation Proclamation. In 1888, a monument of the victims of the Boston Massacre was erected. In 1980, the U.S. government issued a silver dollar to honor the Black Revolutionary War patriots of the 275th anniversary of the birth of the first Black Revolutionary War patriot, Crispus A. Tucks. And we know 5,000 people came out during the event to witness the event. Many schools, parks, playgrounds, community centers, and museums have adopted the name of Crispus A. Tucks. Here are the sources for the presentation. Pause the video, screenshot it, do what you gotta do.
How do you think your ancestors got these? You think they paid a fair price? Or did they take it? But they took everything else. History is a clock that people use to tell their political and cultural time of day. It is also a compass that people use to find themselves on the map of human geography. History tells of people where they have been and what they have been, where they are and what they are.
All right, so I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to this little brief presentation. You know what I'm saying? Um, I will hijack the channel more if he really got beef. You know what I'm saying? If he want it with me, he can come get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to you, Kofi. But the reason for this actual presentation was actually behind my American Negro Academy presentation, where they commemorated the beginning of that, what I would call the birth of the consciousness, um, the first conscious movement, really, in my opinion, arguably, in my opinion. They commemorated the start of that movement, uh, regarding Crispus Attucks. If you remember the presentation, which is on the Massa Warrior Clan channel, um, I mentioned that in the presentation. So to come behind it, I was going to do this, but I did something else. And then Kofi went on a tangent, and then nobody could get anything from me. However, tomorrow on the Massa Warrior Clan YouTube channel, I will be going in on the birth of Liberia from a West African perspective. And maybe in the future, we can get Brother True Historian to double back with his on the reverse side, so we can get two sides of the whole makeup of Liberia, and even Brother Sunil. Brother Sunil got a lot of information on that regarding that as well. So um I really, the Zoom thing for me is an issue when presenting because, oh, okay, now I see it. Um, when I was trying to go through my facts and some of the poem and everything, there was this little blockade that was actually in a way. But I kind of figured it out just now. I wanted to wait till after I got done doing my thing in order to deal with that whole scenario. So um, I'm back now. I see didn't nobody join the panel. I did see Brother Vasa in the chat. I put the link in the back. So I guess these brothers is busy this evening, and I'm not gonna hold them hostage. You know what I'm saying? I took the channel from Kofi. If Kofi got a problem, Kofi can come see me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, when y'all see Kofi, y'all tell Kofi that I took his channel. As you can see, he ain't get no indication, so he don't know that I'm live right now. He ain't even subscribed to his own channel. You know, he talking about this everybody channel, but all we see is Kofi name on there. So from now on, I'm gonna change the whole title of the whole platform. It's gonna be called California TV, and can't nobody get on California TV unless I say so. Straight like that. Zane, what you talking about? The title of the poem? Man, if you read that, man, that poem about 5, 10 minutes long, man. But yeah, you came in late, so you might have to like double back, catch it, and do all of that, man. But yeah, man, if this your first time watching Kofi Potside TV, please log a like, share, subscribe, and you know, we'll go from there. But I do appreciate everybody, man. So I ain't gonna hold y'all up. I'm gonna say Shimon Hotel. Now you know what? I ain't gonna say Shimon Hotel. I ain't going nowhere. Bump Kofi. He want war, he can get it. He can war up. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can make this happen for y'all. Now, I did some work. Oh, yeah. Let me get that for you, bro. Let me get that for you. Let me get that. I did some work on the Mossy channel. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, you know what I'm saying? Just some little snippets. Just dropping a little, some minor jewels. Um, log into that, man. Deal with that, because that's a big deal. What's going on right there? And share that stuff, man. Share it with friends, whoever. But what I'm trying to help people do is understand, what was going on one side of the continent and then what's going on the other side of the continent. It was complete turmoil for all descendants of Africans and continental Africans. And this is where a lot of our mix-up goes on. Is during the colonialism, that period. Um, we try to give you jewels about cloth economies, just stuff on history, man, that you really just don't hear about every day. So I would appreciate, if you interested in that, then deal with it. But I'm finna put it in the chat for you, Zane. It's called The Rise and Fall of the American Negro Academy. Um, Let me know what you think of that. Boom, just drop that on you. I don't know if anybody else live. I don't know. They may be live and more interesting than me. I'm a little boring, I guess, but it's all good in the hood. Anybody else got anything, man, before I let y'all rock out? But for real though, man, tomorrow on Mossy, I'm going in straight like that. Straight like that. I'm going in. Yup. I ain't tripping. I got I got to go in on this. Got to go in on this one. One of the sources used in this presentation, man, is a 2-volume book. Somebody's selling it for $897 on Amazon. I got some jewels out of the book, the 2-volume book, volume one actually. And I don't know if Truth got this or not, but we gonna see. We gonna see. I'm gonna get mine out and we're gonna put it in Truth lap and we'll see what Truth come up with because he got some jewels. He been working on it, but he just be keeping it in the chamber. We'll see what we get from him and then we can kind of play them both. But appreciate everybody tuning in, man. On this note, I'm gonna say Shimon Motep. See you tomorrow. It's gonna be a crazy day. I think that Kofi will be live tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, on this channel. And stay in tune to the conversation, discussing on the meaning of the contribution and the meaning of the place named Kemet. Make sure you purchase that book. Also, make sure that y'all purchase in the conscious community first Pan African Journal. Brother Ben is is the corporate behind pushing this agenda. We got works from Asar Imhotep, Kofi Pasai, uh, Mrs. Njai, Lily Poete, some artwork in there by another sister, some other poetry that's in there. Baruti, teacher, Saber Baruti. He got an article leading article in the journal. Of course, I'm in the journal. You know what I'm saying? I got to be in the journal. I had a few essays. Saneb, brother Saneb in the journal, you know, and depending on how this goes, if we'll get a volume two. So I don't know if it's going to be quarterly or if it's going to be yearly. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we will have more contributions to the journal. And if we can bring some success to this journal, then we can put it on a world stage and start setting a precedence. In order to be scholarly or to do scholarly things, you must put a pen to paper. You understand? You must be willing to write. You must be willing to study. You must be willing to invest in your studies. You know, everybody can get behind a YouTube channel and bump their gums and do whatever it is that they want to do. However, we invest a lot of money in books, programs such as what's going on right now, and put out published works. I'm a member of the Seshu Mani Metal Nature. Saber Jawa has a grammar book that's gonna be groundbreaking coming soon. Grammar's tough, by the way. Emmy Ket has a penmanship book. Sabu Jawu got the introduction book, Learning the Metal Nature, if you're interested. And then, of course, the Seshu as a crew. We put out a rebuttal book to Walter Williams, refute some erroneous claims made by people in the community who thought that metal nature had never been deciphered. We deal with that. We get the primaries in there. We put the research up and did all of that. Black Panther got two children's books. I'm in my opera. I got like five books out. Michael Hope got books out. Nahisi got a book coming soon that I think he gonna drop later this year. That's his target date. Got a book out. His second book is cooking, and I think he may be doing edits or whatever he doing, but I think it's a 350-page book on that one. So I'm dropping some jewels and some heat in that thing. You know what I'm saying? Look forward to Simon Tep's work. He got the Illusion Volume 2. The Shimsu Hiru research team as a group, Sanjeti Asar and Saber Wujawu, all got a book out. Get that. Like I said, that's important. Important work is groundbreaking research and work. Um, Dr. Ma'at got part three of Mel Track coming soon. She gonna deal with uh Ghana a little bit, the slave trade, forts and so forth. It's gonna be some historical stuff in there. I don't know if any information that I have presented on or that has been requested. I don't know if it'll appear in that. If so, great. I'm not sweating it. More power to Dr. Ma'at. She did some groundbreaking research, went to Ghana to get things right with her son. Um, trying to see what else anybody else got cooking. Brother Ben, Brother Ben got something else cooking. He got a presentation cooking that's gonna be magnificent. He gonna deal with some of the infused perspectives of I ain't gonna tell nobody, man. Y'all just gotta stay tuned for that. You know what I'm saying? Again, Shimon Hotel, Uncle Josh Neb, a bit. You know what I'm saying? Peace and Black Power. Stay tuned for the Real Black Atheist Show. Tune in to the Real Black Atheist Show. He should be starting soon. It is 8 o'clock his time, but you know he's on people time, you know, CPT time, colored people time. And he kind of started the show always 30 minutes late anyway. So everybody, man, get your pen, pad, and everything else ready. Go over there to Unc channel. You know what I'm saying? I think he going live, if I'm not mistaken. I did see his schedule for tonight. So tune in for Unc's show, Pseudo Slayers, of course, identifying those who misinform, looking at the game tape. All right. So he ain't playing no games with y'all tonight. Tune in to Uncle right now, and I'll catch y'all in the chat. See you in traffic.